martial arts friends, welcome to the video. I appreciate you clicking on the link as always. You guys know I love that you watch these videos. Video number 3. This is the first in the series of these Espada y Daga videos, these line play drills that I'm putting together. This is the first one that I'm going to be showing you guys some of the stuff that John has been teaching me up in Seattle. So this is going to be a lot more European style, a lot more Spanish, Italian kind of style. So a lot of thrusts and things like that. I tell you, man, understanding how to do cambios and atajos and slash to thrust type of things, like you learn in the Spanish arts, the Spanish sword fighting arts, is remarkable. And it's honestly one of the things that I absolutely love about Kali Center. This is why I train with them, because they're not afraid to go outside of their traditional Kali styles to enhance their own sword fighting. They just want to know what works. And I'm telling you, this, and it's really interesting to see how Kali plays into the Spanish arts, the Spanish sword fighting, like the destreza, and it's really interesting to kind of understand the history of how the Spanish influenced Kali in the Philippines under Spanish occupation, and then when you understand what the Spanish arts are, it's amazing to see how your Kali fits into it. It's really cool stuff. So hopefully you guys like this. This is going to be, so of the 4 line play drills that I put together, this one is actually the most difficult. I will say that this twists my brain up a little bit. It's because it's a lot of fine movements. So anyway, let me just go ahead and get into it. Stop flapping my lips at you guys. So let's start with the hands. So the hands with this one, we're actually going to start off with the Espada in the number 12 position. So in number 12 position, guard position, I've got my hand at about the hip, right outside my right hip, right? And the tip of my weapon would be facing my opponent's left shoulder. I'm covering that pocket, right? And then my Espada, my Daga, is in its number 1 position. This is the starting position. First movement with the hands is I'm going to do what's called a cambio. So I'm going to, if my opponent's wet blade is like this, right? If they've got it, X'd off here, I want to bring the tip of my blade underneath theirs and then on top of it, right? So I can subjugate their blade. So that's what I'm doing with this first movement with the Espada, is I'm doing what's called a cambio, and I'm bringing my blade on top of theirs, subjugating it. At the same time that I'm doing that, I'm going to take the Daga and do a tip down parry covering the low line. So what I'm doing is I am covering the high line with the Espada, covering the low line with the Daga. Then I'm going to do a palm down thrust with the Espada. Next movement is I'm going to do another cambio, so I'm going to bring the tip down and then bringing this over to the backhand thrusting position as I bring the Espada up, as I bring the Daga up, transferring their Espada to my Daga so that I could thrust forward, okay? So I'm in this palm down position, tip goes down into the palm up position, transfer, thrust, like that. Then I'm going to do a reverse, just turning this to a reverse angle 2, but this is a double cut. So I'm here, right? Boom, just thrust it. Then I'm turning this around, just wrist manipulation, and doing a cut on the number 2 line with the Espada, and a cut on the number 1 line with the Daga. Boom. But this is going to be a cut to thrust. So I'm going to cut, stopping here, right outside of center line, right? And then I'm going to turn this to a low line palm down thrust. So the low line thrust, you don't have to go all the way down here or anything. All it needs to do is hit them, if you can see where this is hitting, hit them right about here, right? Okay, that's all you're trying to do on the low line. So you only need to turn the wrist down when you go low line, okay? So we've done our slash, and then I'm doing a low line thrust. Daga covers the high line. Then I'm going to do what's called a transfer. So if they blocked my weapon, I'm going to transfer theirs to the high line, clearing it, and then thrusting in at them. Boom. Like that. So it's starting from the beginning. Like I said, this is the most difficult one. So I'm going to do I'm in the number, Espada's in the number 12 guard, Daga's in its number 1 position, do a cambio. As I cover the low line with the Daga, downward parry. Palm down thrust with the Espada. Then I'm going to do a cambio, taking this to a inside parry and transferring their Espada to my Daga. I'm doing a transfer here as I thrust forward, doing a wrist manipulation and turning this into a reverse angle 2 slash as I do a number 1 slash with the Daga. Boom, double cut here. Then I'm going to do a low line palm down thrust as I cover the high line with the Daga, doing a transfer of from the low line to the high line. The Daga is now going to cover low as I thrust forward with the Espada. Boom. One more time. So, number 12 position, number 1 position with the Daga here. Cambio, cover the low line with the Daga. Palm down thrust, cambio, cover, do an inside parry, and then transfer the Daga, thrust. Wrist manipulation to reverse angle 2 and a number 1 slash. It's a double cut, boom, Espada Daga double cut, and then you're going to do a low line palm down thrust, covering the high line with the Daga, doing a transfer from the high line, from the low line to the high line. Daga now is going to cover low as I thrust forward, boom, like that. Easy peasy, right? All right, let's take a look at what we're doing with the feet. All right, everybody, so footwork. For this video, we're going to be using the blue lines here, those ones right there, okay? So first, we're starting off in bladed position like always. We're going to use the 15-degree line again, stepping up onto the circle with our left foot, coming up the 15-degree line here, bridging. Feet come together. Then I'm going to step my right foot up right 45. Then I'm going to do a pass-through with this left foot. Boom, stepping all the way forward with a pass-through step. Excuse me, right foot is going to come all the way around, up, forward triangle, and then I'm going to bring my feet together and step forward one more time, and then just come back. One more time. Stepping on 15 degree on the circle, bridging up the 15-degree line, feet come together, bridging to the inside, pass through again to the inside. We're re-quartering to the inside on this one with a pass-through step. Then I'm going to bring my right foot around, up, forward triangle, feet come together, largo step, and just step back. Have you guys take a look at me here. All right, now with you guys looking at me. So I'm going to step on the 15-degree line on the circle, bridging up the 15-degree line, feet come together, right foot steps right 45. I'm going to step right 45 again with a pass through. Right foot steps up, forward triangle, feet come together, largo step, boom. Let's do that again. Stepping on the circle on 15 degree, bridging up 15 degree, feet come together. Right 45, pass through up right 45 again. Right foot comes up, forward triangle, feet come together, step up. Technically that would be 0 degrees at that point. Let's calibrate this beast. Calibrating this. All right, so starting in bladed position, Espada in the number 12 position, Daga in its number 1 position. When I step on the circle on 15 degree is when I do my cambio and my parry on the low line. When I step up the 15 degree line, bridging, is when I do that palm down thrust. I cambio and transfer to the Daga when the feet come together, and thrust as I step up right 45. Doing my wrist manipulation and my reverse angle 2 as I do my pass through. And this is the double strike, remember, doing a 1 with the Daga. Then I'm going to keep my Espada trained on my opponent and step up forward triangle with that low line palm down thrust, transferring their weapon to the high line as the feet come together and the Daga covers the low line, and step forward with a palm up largo thrust. Boom, like that. Hard to get a good angle for this one. All right, let's do that again. So, number 12 position, number 1 position. Cambio as I do my parry on the low line with the Daga. Step up 15 degree with a palm down thrust. Cambio, cover the inside, it's like an inside parry, as I transfer their Espada to my Daga, and thrust as I step up right 45. Pass through step as I turn my Espada to a reverse angle 2, and my Daga is going to do a number 1 slash, double strike. They land when the left foot hits the ground. Then I'm going to take my right foot and step up forward triangle, thrusting on the low line. Daga covers the high line. Doing a transfer as, so Espada comes to the high line, Daga goes to the low line, and do a largo thrust, boom, to finish it. One more time. Cambio, parry, palm down thrust, cambio, transfer, thrust as I step right 45, pass through step with a double strike, forward triangle with a palm down low line thrust covering the high line with the Daga, transfer their weapon to the high line as you do a largo thrust, Daga covers low line. Boom. Let me do it. Let me just demonstrate it a couple of times for you guys. To go, you guys. All right, so hopefully that one made sense. Like I said, that one is actually the hardest one. If you guys haven't done that stuff with thrusting and whatnot, oh man, I'm telling you, it's a back workout. Every time I come back from training with John, my lats are like, man, it feels like I've been just doing like rows all day or something, I'm telling you. Anyway, like I said, I got one more for you guys. I appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. Be on the lookout for the next video as soon as it comes out. Until then, God bless. Deuces.